And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Oh, this is not the scene I was looking for. There it is. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second broadcast of the night. Welcome to World Team League 2024 Summer Code 8, day number 7, the final day of World Team League. We are back. We're here to crown our WTL Code 8 going on the live broadcast here. Let's go. As we have two best of sevens here tonight, and we have our lineups. Here we go. We have Twisted Fairy versus Offside, Classic versus Firefly in a PvP, Nice versus Rex in a PvZ, followed by another series at the end there. But we have our PvP to kick off the night. Let's go. Now, this is going to be a rematch. Classic has been having a hard time against Protoss players, whether they're players like Cyan, players like Firefly. Obviously, Classic is a veteran. He has a legend behind him. He's a veteran player here. He is very accomplished, and honestly, I would say that Classic is top 2 Protoss in Korea right now. But Firefly has some killer PvP, and we even saw that last night. But here we go. We're diving into it, and spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have Classic for Twisted Fairy. And in the bottom left, we have Firefly for Offside. Let us go. As we are just quickly settling on into our next matchup. I was just quickly double checking here, but I want to say that they had this is a rematch. Yes, it is a rematch. I was curious. Okay, so I was getting deja vu. I was like, I feel like I casted this before. I feel like we've already covered this. We have. Twisted Fairy and Offside, they face off in the upper bracket. I think it was like day 2 or day 3 of WTL Code A, and Firefly 2-0'd Classic. Firefly 2-0'd Classic. That was a couple of days ago, by the way. And now Classic, he's here for his revenge. Again, Firefly, we've seen him beat Hero, we've seen him beat Classic, we've seen him beat Creator. Firefly has some of the best PvP out there. He's even forced Max Packs to the Ace match in a best of 5. That's how good Firefly's PvP is. There's no Protoss player out there that has ever survived the wrath of Firefly. Not saying that he's favored, but he can take them all down. On a good day, on a good night, Firefly can beat any Protoss in the world. And Classic is here to redeem himself. He's here to prove to us all why he is the ace player of Twisted Fairy and why he is still a force to be reckoned with. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Rainer in the chat. Papi, oh my god, thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great, or hope you enjoyed your run. We had a great time casting you. We just wrapped up with ESL Open Cup Asia, and Rainer was one of our finalists. And I mean, peak Rainer was definitely the semifinals. You're an animal, Papi. you're an absolute mate. What you did to Dark was disgusting, but it was great. We had a great time. I'm sure you did as well. And I wish you the best in the GSL qualifiers. GSL qualifiers are right around the corner. They're in a couple of days. So if you're out there in the chat, cheer for Rainer. Again, he's going to be competing in the qualifiers, and I'm sure competing in the main event as well. Best of luck, Pappy. Best of luck. As the Korea arc has only just begun for Rainer. Only just begun. Meanwhile, we're settling into, of course, World Team League Code A. Settling into Game 1. For now, we do have our 2 gate openers for for Classic at least. We do have Firefly getting into his expansion. Instead of Classic opting to go for faster tech instead. It is going to be a Stargate opener out of Classic, delaying his expansion. Meanwhile, Firefly trying to get his faster Nexus up and running. As a reminder, it was a gate expand out of Firefly. A little bit greedy, very Max Packs-esque. Very greedy here. The Adepts, they do rock up. But again, the sentries, they have been buffed. As of late, they were buffed in the recent patch, and they will survive these Adepts. It looks like we trade 1 for 1. Whew. But the last one Adept does survive. We get a probe. Shield battery still a couple of seconds off, and we get a second probe as well. Not bad. 2 probes do go down. Shield battery does finish up. Firefly will hold, but not without losing a couple of workers. Bearing in mind, though, that Classic needs to get damage done. He delayed his own expansion, or he went for a later expansion. Based on the openers, Classic is down in workers. He needs to fight back. And he's trying. Still being very active here with the Adepts. Again, the sentries, they do hit a little bit different nowadays. They are a little bit tankier. They do a little more damage as well against these Adepts. Good force fields. Oh my, Firefly! He looks down one of the Adepts, does shut it down. Very nice pick off, but probes are still falling. Probes are still getting picked off. We do bleed out another 2. Once again, good force fields. Oh my god. The body blocking, barely the Adept does slip away. But the Oracle does get into the main base. Does slip in. Stalkers are somewhat in position, but we do manage to get another 5 probes. 5 workers go down. Good damage. And as the dust does settle, you can see the worker count is quite even. 27 workers apiece. Goes to show how far behind Classic was. Or how far ahead Firefly was in the economy as he catches another adept. Bobby, calm down. Este Firefly. As he does manage to get another adept. As is being stated in the chat, we are catching up in the WTO broadcast. We were busy covering the finals of ESL Asia, which means this broadcast, which means we're behind around 40 minutes or so. So we are catching up. Adept's going to be going down. We do get another 5 probes. Very nicely done. Did I say 5? I meant to say 6. 7 workers go down in the natural. Classic popping off. Classic finally taking a worker lead. Did cost him a lot though. Did cost him a lot of adepts. Did invest quite hard into these stalkers. Sorry, into these oracles as the stalkers are moving out. Firefly, he's had enough defending. He's moving out across map. Blink is halfway done. Once again, though, that mineral line is exposed. Don't quite get any more damage, though. Back at home, Classic is rushing into immortal production. Ooh, as the main base is left wide open. 5 probes go down. 6 probes go down. Firefly gets across the map. He's committed. He's down 10 workers. He's looking to end it here and now, at least breaking into the natural, but the Immortal has arrived just in time. Force fields are good, but there's just not enough to keep up as Firefly gets caught out. 1 sentry goes down, 2nd sentry, 3rd sentry as well. Barely escapes, barely doesn't escape. And Classic, he's in a good position. He's miles ahead. He's up in workers, he's up in army. He may not have Blink, but he has Immortals. He has Immortals to make up for that. So there's a bit of a give and take here. Firefly has a more mobile army with Blink Stalkers. Meanwhile, Classic has a more robust army with those Immortals. So with these Stalkers, we could try to outposition Classic. Definitely, we could threaten the main base. We could try to dive into a mineral line. Catch out the army. It is possible. But in a head-to-head fight, I have to favor Classic. As Firefly is fanning out. Going for additional gateways, yet to expand. Likewise, either is Classic. As Firefly does threaten that natural base. But again, we're up to 2 Immortals, 2 shield batteries, an overcharge. Yeah, there's no breaking the natural. Firefly has to back off. At the same time, the Oracle's still getting more damage, by the way. 3 probes go down. Ay, ay, ay. Finally, the Oracle goes down, but it is more than paid for itself. And the pressure is still on Firefly. Throws down another gateway. Still refuses to expand. Doubling down on Mass Stalker. I mean, it's the only way. Hallucination confirms lack of 3rd. So Classic, he's just making sure he gets eyes on any expansion or an all-in. Prism does manage to slip away. And you can see Firefly is still trying to find an angle of attack. Trying to find a weak point in the defenses of Classic. Yeah, proxy gateway across the map. Like we're just going for an all-in. It's all-in here for Firefly. And as a reminder, with high ground vision, he can just go into the main instead. He can avoid the natural. I've yet to see the defenses in the main. I'm not sure if we have shield battery set up. Who was Classic is pushing out onto the map towards a 3rd. Does come across the army. And he chases Firefly back. He collapses on the proxy. Yeah, that gateway, it's gonna fall. There's no making use of it. Even supply blocking Firefly. Behind this, Firefly is expanding. Trying to, getting to a forge. But it looks like we may have just forced Classic to counterattack. He is now breaking free and he's not stopping. We can see Firefly trying to buy time. Does actually drag Classic back home. But we have the surround. Get out of here. Force the recall. We bleed out a handful of Stalkers. And now Classic can push. He's expanding behind this. Going for his own 3rd base. Prism has arrived. We can reinforce on the front lines. And can Classic be stopped? He's up to 3 Immortals. That's a lot of Immortals. And Stalkers as well. Even with the overcharge, Firefly, he's being overwhelmed. We have double the army supply here for Classic. Boys are being pulled, they have to be. And Classic is getting his revenge. Remember, it was a couple of days ago when Firefly 2-0'd Classic, and now he fights back. GG gets called, and Classic takes game number 1. GG. Classic is angry. He's upset about what happened in that previous series. He wants his revenge, as it looks like we are getting into our map of choice. And Firefly, he's going, oh, interesting, for Oceanborn. Oceanborn is going to be coming up next. We have seen Firefly on this map before go for a more economic opener. I mean, we just saw it in game 1 where Firefly went for a gate expand, very Max Pax-esque, but he was punished. He was punished quite hard for it. Can he get away with it on Oceanborn? Here we go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have Classic for Twisted Fairy. And in the bottom right, we have Firefly for Offside. Let's go. And as we settle into game number 2, a big shout out to the sponsors of WTL. A shout out to Doyu, Pew Pew, Autofool, and Tidal as well. Big shout out to the sponsors. Without them, WTL would not be possible. It would not have as big of a prize pool or as much support. Not just World Team League, but also Kung Fu Cup, also Masters Coliseum, SC Boy. They do so much for the StarCraft scene nowadays, both in individual league and team league formats as well. Also Stars War 11, that's another big one. The qualifiers did conclude, and Stars War 11 is on the horizon as well. So yeah, really cool to see. SC Boy invest as hard as much as they do. If I'm not mistaken, I think Rainer recently announced that he was going to be casting Stars War 11 at the venue. I could be mistaken, but I think he tweeted about it, about how he was given permission to cast the event, and I think he's opting to travel to the venue itself, to China, to be a part of it. So yeah, really cool to see, really cool to hear. Wish Rainer the best in that cast. We're going to be casting as well, but obviously not live from the venue, from here back at home. I'm sure it's going to be a great time. As for now, we're settling into our builds. Interesting. Firefly going for a Zealot first, by the way. Ooh, as Classic does look in those probes. A brutal moment here. Pylon gets thrown down, and you can see 3 probes then trapped in the mineral line. Slick moves out of Classic. He allows it to finish as well. That is brutal. 3 probes that trapped. We do delay a lot of mining time here for Firefly. That's why we have the Zealot on the way, to focus down the probe and to focus down the pylon. Ooh, a good start for Classic. Is a solid start. Flexing a little bit on Firefly. He's angry, Pop. He's angry. Pylon is going to go down. Back at home, it's a 2-gate opener from Classic. We can set up for expansion as, ooh, Classic, once again, it's the same build. 2 games in a row is going for a Stargate before expand. Meanwhile, that's 2 more gates. Oh my god. 1 base all in? Firefly. He responds here with 2 more gateways. I imagine a proxy gateway across the map as well. We're doubling down. I mean, I do like the dichotomy here out of Firefly, where in game 1, he went for a greedy gate expand. Here in game 2, we just turned the tables on Classic. There it is. Another gateway's on the way. I believe that's 4 gates in... Oh, no, sorry, it was just a wall off. So 3 gateways for the time being, but I'm sure we're going to be getting a 4th gateway across the map to reinforce. Adepts have arrived. They go for the sentry. Ooh, and they should get one. They should be able to pick one off. And it will fall. There's that pylon on the way from Firefly. Still refusing to expand. Classic is taking his own natural. Getting into his Oracle. Good movement out of Classic. Does save the Adept. Does reinforce. And Firefly is in trouble. He is in a lot of trouble. He was a little bit too cavalier with his sentries. A little bit too bold with them, and they will be going down. Oof. Yeah, 2 sentries fall, and we're reinforcing across the map. My apologies, there is no 4th gateway, so it's just going to be 3 gates, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, wait, no. Okay, we just let it finish. Never mind. 4 gateways back at home. We're reinforcing across the map. Warping in 4 stalkers at a time. Clutch force field. But we have control of the low ground. Yeah, we force a cancel on the Nexus. Robo's on the way. Void Ray production has commenced for Classic. And we have a wall of shield batteries. But we're out of force fields. We just walk in. We just walk on in. It doesn't even matter. We have the overcharge, though. Classic, he can hold. We go for the pylon. It's out of range of the shield battery. Pylon goes down. The Artosis Pylon does fall. We depower the gateways. Only Void Rays can be reinforcing. Only Void Rays can warp in. And we are holding the line. The Prismatic Alignment putting in a lot of damage. The Adepts, they come back home. We get the full surround. Classy, he comes in for the surround. Collapses on the Stalkers. And he will clean this up. But we have more Stalkers on the way. Firefly dragging the army out of position. Is it going to be enough? He's going for the Void Ray. And can he get it? He should. He goes for the Oracle. Does manage to get the Oracle in the end. Void Ray survives. And I believe Classic, he's repowered those gateways. Yeah, we have a Sentry. We have an Immortal. We can force field the ramp. Classic, he's holding. Beautiful force field here on the ramp. Shuts down 2 Stalkers. And Firefly, he's hurting. He's running out of steam. Time is working against him. He needs to push in. Doesn't get the Void Ray. And you can see Classic looking more and more comfortable here. Yeah, he moves out and gets another Stalker. No fear whatsoever. Yeah, as he catches even more. Classy, he's completely shutting this down. It was a good effort here by Firefly, but alas, he has no more momentum. GG gets caught, and Classic takes the 2-0, takes a stronghold. That's a lot of Protoss, Papi. That is a lot of Protoss. And up first, we're going to be loading in to Ghost River. We have our starting map. Let's go. Raynor, true, he's already a YouTuber. True. You're not wrong. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ghost River, we have the Taiwanese Protoss, Nice. And in the top right, we have Rex for OFFSYDE. Here we go. We have some Taiwan on Taiwan action here. Rex versus Nice, the best Zerg and Protoss from their country, respectively. Let's go. They do go back and forth, but the reality is that Nice is the strongest player in his region. For many years now, he has surpassed Haas as the king of Taiwan. He has surpassed Haas and likewise Rex as well, but always any other player in the region. So this is going to be an uphill battle for Rex. What I will say, though, is that Rex has been improving quite a lot as of late. He's been practicing quite a bit. And the pressure is on Rex to fight back for himself and for his team. OFFSYDE that had a rough start here to the series. Can we bounce back? How does Rex play ZVP? He's typically very mid-game oriented. We have seen Rex go for 3-base max outs quite a bit. So I'm talking about like 3-base saturation, 6-6 drones, max out on roaches. We could see that work wonders here on Ghost River just because of the short rush distance by ground, but we'll see. I'm curious how Rex will approach this, because Nice is not a standard player. Nice, he's very unorthodox. He can be very difficult to predict as well, which is why he's a lot of fun to cast. Nice is always a great player to cast, but I'm sure terrifying to play against. We'll see how this all comes together. We shall see. We've also seen Rex not afraid of Ling flooding as well, but not certain if we're going to be seeing that in this series. For now, Rex is going to be saturating his natural base, getting up to his 2-base setup. We're casting with like a 30-minute delay now. Yeah, exactly. Only 30 minutes back. Let's go. But for the time being, we do have just some chill standard openers here. Even Rex was able to take his natural, not forced to expand elsewhere. Has a much more comfortable start, as Nice is going for a Stargate opener. Let's go. Is going to be a Stargate first. Should be into Oracles, but we'll keep an eye on Nice. I'm sure he's not afraid to go into a Void Ray or a Phoenix opener as well. Meanwhile, Rex is getting his 3rd base up and running. Is on the way. We are settling into our game. Again, we were just on this map earlier with Raynor versus Hero, talking about how aggression can be favored, and Hero himself went for a 3-base all-in, went for 8 gateways, sorry, he went up to 9 gates even. 9-gate, Blink Stalker all-in. I'm not sure if Nice is one to really approach the game in that way, but there it is, Void Ray first. Now, with a Void Ray opener, this is designed to hunt down these overlords to deny vision from Rex and to keep him in the dark as to what comes next. As to the follow-up tech, from here we can go into Glaive Adepts, we can go into Sky Toss, we can go into Charge Lots, we can go into a standard game as well. What will Nice embrace after this Void Ray? And it's going to be on Rex to figure it out as well. As the Overlord does dip in, Rex, he confirms the Void Ray. Does get eyes on the Oracle follow-up as well. Barely does see it. Ooh, as that does supply block Rex for a moment. Thankfully, he does break out of it. Is going for a lair first. Interesting. 4-minute lair timing here for Rex. Just under 4 minutes even. Now, with a fast lair, that will lead into a fast Overseer Scout. But my eyes are on Rex as we're going for a second Void Ray. Overlord speed is on the way. We could just go for a Ling Queen or Lin as well. Overlord speed does give us access to Dropper Lords. It does make it more viable here. And I don't see a Roach Warren. Not yet. Yeah, I'm feeling a Ling Queen at night. Sorry, not Nidus. A Ling Queen or Lin. Baliness is on the way. Okay. Interesting. Baliness is on the way. We're still making more Lings. We can see Rex's cutting workers at 35. We are done droning. We're making nothing but Lings, nothing but Queens, and we should be pushing across the map with the all-in. We spoke about it earlier, but Ghost River, the rush distance by ground is very short, 31 seconds from main to main. Doesn't take long at all. There we go. The Dropper Lords are on the way, but Nice is getting ready. Shield batteries are being thrown down. Void Rays are getting in position. We have a third Void Ray in production. Can Nice hold? Can he defend? As here comes the army. We get the revelation off. We have spotted the queens. Again, Baliness just now finishing. It is going to be 5 queens being sent across the map. We can, of course, spread creep as well to allow for some transfuse. 6 Banelings on the way as well. The Void Rays, they may come across them. Up. They do barely get eyes on them. They go for the Overlord, but the queens, they're going for the natural. Lings as well. Let's go. So we get Lings and Queens into the natural way. So we have Ling Bane towards the third. We have a shield battery. We do have a sentry in position. But the army is not. And Void Rays, they rotate over. They catch a queen. 1 queen goes down. Overcharge is popped. At the same time, Rex is going for the third. But there's no saturation. Nothing here to really kill. He's going for the Adepts instead. Will crash in. We have 3 shield batteries. The queens, they're being cleaned up. We managed to get 8 probe kills, but we hold on to the third. GG gets called. The wall is solid. Nice. He does defend both his natural and his third, and he will extend his lead. Graphics. Well, it's okay. I don't know if you saw it was showing Classic versus Firefly. That is not the case. But we are getting ready for our next map. I think it's going to be on Post Youth. They're showing us Post Youth, so I guess that's going to be it. There we go. There we go. They fixed up the names. Interesting. Now, if you remember, the last time we saw Rex on Post Youth, he went for a proxy hatch against Special, and he did manage to bring Special to his knees. Did bring him down, but here we go. We're getting into our next game, and in the top right, we have Nice. In the bottom left, we have Rex. Let's go. As we're getting into this, a big shout out to Yellow B in the chat. Baby God, thank you so much. Did subscribe during the last game. I apologize for not giving you a shout out earlier, but thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you, Papi. Thank you. Hope you enjoy your emotes. Hope you enjoy your replay packs. We do send out replay packs to our subscribers, so thank you so much. Join our Discord if you do want access to those replays, as Rex is going for the gold. Let's go. We are headed for the gold base as our natural. And can Nice punish this? Can he shut it down? As Nice is going for a Nexus first? Oh my god. Am I crazy? It's a Nexus for Gateway, right? Yeah. Okay. Nexus first here at the Nice. Meanwhile, gonna be the goal base from Rex. Now, it is a greedy build here from Nice, but Rex's opener is greedier, is what I should say. So I'm sure Rex is still content with this. Probe is moving out, and we'll soon get eyes on the expansion. Meanwhile, hello, Carwin. Hello. I see Carwin in the chat. Luke Wolf as well. Eric. Fala galera, papi. Good to see you, Eric. Best of luck. I know that you have a couple of days break from EPT Spring, but best of luck in the coming days in your next series. I haven't been able to watch live, I'll be honest. I've been sleeping, Papi, I've been sleeping. But I'm catching up on the VODs. I'm catching up. So best of luck, Papi, best of luck. I'll try to wake up early and I'll try to be there for your matches. I think your matches are like at 4 AM my time. As the Maynard is upon us, Rex gonna be saturating his gold as quickly as possible. And even though Nice sees this, because of the Nexus first, he can't really do anything about it. The Cybercore is not even done. Again, it was all delayed because of the greedier build from Nice. And we are settling on into this. Zealot finishing up, waiting for the Cybercore. Likewise, Rex able to saturate his gold base. And our tech of choice is going to be a Stargate from Nice. I imagine it's going to be Oracle this time to harass across the map to get some economic damage done, but we'll see. We shall see. Oh, de nada, papi, de nada. De nada. But yeah, for those who are unaware, both Eric and Dolan are competing in EPT Spring in the Americas Regionals, and they're doing fairly well. They're doing quite well for themselves. But their next matches, I believe, are in 2 or 3 days. They're in a couple of days. So I'll do my best to make up for them. Do my best. I'll set all the alarms. As once again, Void Ray first. Okay. Very interesting. Nice is once again going for a Void Ray opener. He's going to shut down the Overlord. Twilight Council behind this. Oh, it gets cancelled. Twilight Council is going to be cancelled as the Overlord will get the scout off. I believe that was designed for a Glaive Adept timing. But again, the Overlord will delay it. That's a pretty big moment here for Rex. And Nice forced to expand, taking a third base instead. Will he still go for that Twilight Council as the Overlord finally goes down? Behind this, Lings are flooding across the map, getting guys on the third. Applying a bit of pressure here and there, but nothing major. And there it is, we have a Gateway Explosion. So I believe that's going to be 4 gates in total. Twilight Council's on the way, no Forge. Oh, did I say 4 gates in total? That's going to be a 5th gateway, a 6th gateway as well. Oh my god, that's a lot of gateways. That is a lot of gateways in production here for Nice. A Robo as well. Ay, ay, ay. And are we going for charge? With this many gateways, I imagine this is going to be a charge all in. We'll see. It is a good way to make use of the gold minerals with that hybrid base. That's going to be 7 gates in total, as the first gateway is already done. And no, it is not charged. It is indeed going to be Glaive Adepts. And we throw down 1 more gateway. It's going to be 8 gates in total. We cancel Glaives and we throw down the charge. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. I'm like, I don't think we can afford 8 Adepts at a time. We don't have the gas for it. As we pull out of gas, it is charge. So it's going to be a 2-base charge all in. The third is essentially a fake out. Nice cutting probes at 20. He's Maynarding over to the third base to make it look like he's probing. I mean, I say that he has spare probes because he's pulled out of gas. Again, Nice. He has 0 gas income right now. 0 gas and nothing but zealots. Has he gone up to 10 gates? Jesus. I know he at least has 8. But I think he started up 2 more. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. It's going to be all or nothing here for Nice. Massing up pure zealots. Prism is on the way. And we'll see if Rex can hold. Rex, he will not have Bailings. He will have pure Roach. Does have the power of that gold base. And zealots are moving out. And this is going to hit like a truck. Again, no sag defense, no Bailings. Rex, he's being caught with his pants down. He did not see this coming, by the way. Is massing Roaches. But this is going to be a tough hold as we avoid the gold. We're threading the main, going for another big warp in behind this. Rex, he is amassing Roaches. Good choke point. It is a good choke point. We do barely hold the line here. Queen's in position as well. We do transfuse. We rotate over towards the other army instead, towards the north. Going for another big warp in. The Queens, they tried to focus down the Prism. But the Prism survives. And we're snowballing out of control. We're busting into the gold base. We're trying to at least. Again, good positioning out of Rex overall. He's holding. He's barely holding on. He gets the Void Ray as well. Yeah, he cleans up the first wave of Zealots, and he goes for the other. Rex, he barely loses any drones, by the way. He's up in workers, 56 drones to the 42 of Nice. And Rex holds. Again, just really good positioning on the ramp, reduce the surface area, likewise kited back to the goal base as well. Rex, he handled it very nicely, and now we're going for a big counterattack. And Nice, he barely has any Zealots left. He barely has an army. He was all in. And it's so difficult to recover from a failed all in. Not like this. Overcharge is popped, and Rex, he's breaking through. There's barely anything to support here. Only a handful of Zealots. Do get a drop across the map. Gonna be forcing back some reinforcements. But last Rex, he is overwhelming. Shuts everything down. GG gets called, and Rex, he fights back. He does put a point on the board. And we do extend the series here. 3-1. Rex, he keeps the dreams of OFFSYDE alive. Let's go. GG, well played. Again, it is a best of 2, so that does wrap up Nice versus Rex. We will not get an ace match between them. We're getting ready for our third best of 2. Stats versus uThermal. Let's go. Let us go. Again, Stats going to be a returning ex-military Protoss player. He's been back for a year, and Stats has been on fire as of late. He's been improving quite a lot over the past couple of months, over the past year. And uThermal, it's going to be a tough series for him. Again, he's more of a content man nowadays, less of a player. And on top of that, uThermal is playing random, not Terran. Is rolling as random, which does make him that much more unpredictable, does make it that much more difficult to also rely on him in these moments as well. We'll see if he can bounce back. The pressure is on. One more loss for OFFSYDE, and that'll be their tournament run ended. And here we go, we're loading into game number 1. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have Stats for Twisted Fairy. And in the bottom left, rolling Protoss, it's uThermal for OFFSYDE. Let's go. Again, uThermal, he does compete as random nowadays, for those that are curious. For the past, like, 6 months, maybe more than that, he's been competing as random. He also competed as random last season in WTL when he was playing for Team Roddy. So, more than anything, uThermal, he's here to make some content, okay? He's here not just to win games as random, but to win games in style. As uThermal, he has a very unique approach. Even when he rolls as Terran, he typically relies on all-ins. Like, all-ins and cheeses and just, like, these weird builds. That's usually what we see from uThermal, but we'll see what he's got here. We'll see what he has for us in this PvP. As Stats is no slouch. Again, it took Stats a while to really get things going. It wasn't until IEM Katowice, it wasn't until post-IEM that Stats really leveled up. I do believe that it was IEM that kind of gave Stats the motivation that he was lacking to improve, to compete. And it's been great to see Stats come into his own as of late. That's been amazing to bear witness. As we do see Stats going for a gate expand, a more economic opener here out of Stats. Meanwhile, uThermal is going for a 2-gate opener. This tells me that uThermal, he has the option to potentially go for a 1-base all-in. Will he expand, or will uThermal double down? Here we go. Here we go. What do you have for us? As uThermal, it looks like based on the camera movement, I think he is looking to take the gold. I think he is poised to expand. We'll see. Sentry's on the way for Stats. He's trying to deal with this probe, trying to expand here on the low ground. And there we go. Nexus has been thrown down. Wasn't delayed too much. Meanwhile, uThermal, is he going for the gold? Now, the biggest reason why Stats is not going for the gold base himself is because it's vulnerable. Like, in a PvP, this gold base is so vulnerable to being harassed. Twilight Council gets thrown down. uThermal still yet to expand. Pylon gets thrown down as well to delay. But we should force a cancel. And the question becomes, does uThermal work towards Blink and take the Nexus or not? And we have the money for it. There it is. Nexus is on the way. But again, this gold mineral line is so exposed to the elements, to the outside world. Couple of Blink Stalkers or Adepts is all it takes to deny mining time at that gold base, so it is a risky move out of uThermal. It's why Stats didn't even bother. He knows how risky it is. Meanwhile, we can see Stats, upon seeing the gold base, he's like, mate, you want to try to take the gold against me in a PvP? You're crazy, Papi. We're coming in to punish it. Pylon has been thrown down. I imagine Stats is going to be throwing down a gateway as well. We have 2 gateways back at home, 3 gates in total. We could be seeing a 4th gateway to reinforce and to punish that gold. Show us what you got. Show us what you got. There it is. There's the 4th gateway. So it's going to be 4 gates out of Stats. And again, his goal here is to just deny mining time and to take an economic lead over uThermal. To punish the gold. Meanwhile, uThermal is pushing out. Does run into the army. Very nice start of uThermal, but the force fields get thrown down. Blink is not done. Ooh, but we do not lock down those Stalkers. A little bit of misplaced force fields. Meanwhile, uThermal going for his own 2 gates across the map as well. He's crazy. 4 gate versus 4 gate. We do get into that mineral line. We do force field those probes. Stalkers have arrived, and Stats, he takes control of the mineral line. He shuts down and forces back the army. Yeah, probes are going down, and we contain uThermal to a one-base economy. Oof. Stats does bleed out a Stalker. Does bleed it out. But he does maintain this position. And this is all he has to do. Just deny mining and reinforce. Stats, he just has the better economy. He's got 2 bases against the 1 of uThermal. uThermal is going to try and break out. Blink is finishing up in 2 seconds. Blink is on the way. Now kicking in for uThermal. And with that, he has more micro potential. Does bleed out a Stalker. Ooh, does miss one of those blinks. Misses a second. Bit of miscontrol there from uThermal. Bleeds out 2 Stalkers. Yeah, and with that Stats, he just maintains the Stalker lead. Gets the Pylon as well. Pylon is going to be going down. uThermal, I mean, we may as well force a recall. He's going for a counterattack. Hoping to force a recall. Back at home, what do we have? What is Stats working with? He has an Immortal. He has an Overcharge. He has an Immortal. He goes for a Warp In. Has a handful of units. Is this enough to hold on? We go for the Blink. We focus down the shield battery. Good start here by uThermal. Does get the shield battery, pushing into the natural. Meanwhile, I think Stats wants to kill the Nexus before he recalls. The Immortal goes down. Good pick off there from uThermal. Gets the Immortal, but there's another Immortal on the high ground. And Stats, he holds. He does recall back home. He kills the Nexus of uThermal. He's down to 1 base. It's a 1 base all-in against Immortals. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work out. Does drag out the army. But uThermal's army, it's battered and bruised. It cannot fight head-on. Not anymore. And Stats, he shakes this all the way back to the gateways. Yeah, the force fields get thrown down. GG gets called, and Stats, he will take game number 1. And Twisted Fairy will win the series at least 4-1. GG, well played. Again, it was a rough start for OFFSYDE, especially with the PvP. I think they were relying a lot on Firefly. I feel like a lot of pressure was on Firefly to get a win there, because he didn't. Unfortunately, you know, things started off a little bit poorly there for OFFSYDE. Rex did bounce back, but uThermal unable to keep up with the PvP of Stats. Does mean Twisted Fairy have confirmed their spot as top 2. They will be advancing on to the grand finals, but not before we get into game number 2 between these 2 players. This is still going to lead to game 2. We will still play it out. And uThermal, it's his map of choice. It is going to be his map of choice, and we are going to be loading in to Alkyone. Let's go. Whew, let us go. So uThermal, he has a chance to redeem himself, but again, he's rolling as random. What's he going to play as? Zerg, Protoss, or Terran? Yet to be determined. What does uThermal have for us? And again, there was a little bit less pressure on this series anyway, as OFFSYDE has already made it into Codes. But here we go in the bottom left, we have Stats for Twisted Fairy. And in the top right, once again, rolling Protoss, it's uThermal for offside. Aye. Once again, the PvP, that's a little bit unlucky. A little bit. Again, uThermal, his best race is his main race. It's Terran. Terran would have been his best chance to bounce back. I mean, his Protoss isn't bad, don't get me wrong, but it is going to be an uphill battle, and thankfully, we're not tempted to go for the gold. Remember what we spoke about in that last game on Dynasty. There's a reason why Stats didn't take his own gold base, because of how abusable that base is, as we saw. uThermal tried to take the gold in game 1. He was punished hard for it. And here on Alkyone, despite the race, he should still be able to get into a much more solid game in towards the mid game. There's no gold to tempt him to expose himself. I mean, I guess there is a gold base on this map, but I don't think I've ever seen this gold taken as the natural in a PvP. In other matchups, sure, but in a PvP, mate, never. That's wild. It's not gonna happen. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, I think Hero's taken the gold base in the PvP before as a natural. But that was specifically against Max Packs when Max Packs went for a gate expand. So there's a caveat to it. It's like, there's a reason why Hero got away with it. That's only because it was Max Packs. That's the only scenario. Meanwhile, it's going to be a 2-gate opener. It's going to be double gateways here for Stats. 2-gate from... Oh wait, no, sorry, my apologies. It's going to be a 2-gate opener from uThermal. I believe it's a gate expand from Stats, right? I believe that's only one gateway on the high ground. Let's go. Could be mistaken. I may have missed the ramp. And there it is. So it's going to be a gate expand, greedy economic opener here at the Stats, doing his best Max Packs impression. And shield batteries on the way. So Max Packs is going. Sorry, Stats. He's going for a faster Nexus. Meanwhile, uThermal going for his 2-gate opener instead. I believe the same build as game 1 from Stats. Meanwhile, we do see uThermal going for the Robo. He's tempted. Show us the 1 base all in. No, never mind. He's going for the expansion. Still going for the Robo. Now, with this Robo, we can go for a Warp Prism. We can go for a passive Warp Prism into a Depth Harass into the main. We can bypass the ramp and go straight for the main base and get some economic damage done that way. So uThermal, he has some kind of harassment potential. And I believe the Robo has been unscouted. I believe. For now, as Hallucination Scout is coming in and Stats, he will get eyes on the Robo. Also confirms the expansion, so he knows it's not a 1 base all in. Stats, he sees all. Meanwhile, his own natural is up and running. Is looking to saturate it. There's that Warp Prism on the way that we did mention. Again, this should be for a Depth Harass from the side of uThermal. But it's going to be difficult getting across the map because Stats has already seen what's coming. So we'll see if Stats can hold on. Behind this, Stats does have the worker lead, does have the better saturation. Getting into his 2nd gateway. Forge as well for +1. And very fast +1, by the way, from Stats. Very greedy, actually. Rushing into those upgrades. Oh, he does get eyes on the Prism. Big scout there from Stats. And uThermal, he's going for, I imagine, the Force Field. Oh my god. Okay, so we have Adepts threatening the natural. We're going to have Sentries going for the main. I'm sure the move that uThermal wants to go for is a Force Field on the ramp to cut up the army of Stats, but you can see that he has Stalkers in position. And we're going for Glaives. Oh my god. Very committed here by uThermal. Glaives, they don't scale well into the mid to late game. Like, this is a very aggressive build here from him, building up Immortals, working towards Glaive Adepts. We do manage to get into that mineral line. We do end up force fielding some of these Stalkers. We go straight for the Prism, straight for the Sentries. We get one. And this has not been worth it. At the same time, Adepts, they shade into the natural, but Stats, he shuts them down. Good defense here. uThermal, he bleeds out 2 Adepts and 2 Sentries, and he gets 1 probe? 1 probe! Aye, aye, aye. Not a good trade here from uThermal. We have a massive gateway explosion. 2-base all-in. uThermal has got 4 gates on the way. It's going to be a 2-base all-in here from uThermal. Adepts and Immortals. It's all or nothing. I say that he does throw down a pylon at the third. I wonder if he's just trying to fake out a third or if he intends to take it. We'll see how hard he commits here. So he's going to be pushing. Like, Stats did see the pylon. That could throw him off. Oh, yeah, Stats is taking a third base. Uh-oh. He's going for a gateway explosion of his own. Still getting up and running. Again, uThermal, he has not expanded. He's banking up resources here for the warp in. Glaives is about to finish up in a couple of seconds. And what does Stats have to defend? Oh god, again, Stats, he threw down gateways. He's going for +2, going for charge, being very tech heavy. And now he realizes what's going on. And I'm not certain he can save that third. Yeah, the Immortals, they have arrived. The all-in is here. And Stats, he's not ready for it. Just now throwing down his shield batteries. They're getting up and running. The third base is cancelled. The gateways do finish, though. The gateways, they are done in time. Threatening the shade. And we're going to be diving in. Yeah, we commit to shade. We go for the sentries. Force fields have been thrown down. We do zone away those Immortals. We can juggle them over the ramp, over the wall. Overcharge is barely keeping that cannon alive. It's putting in so much work. Shield battery is targeted, but we do get an Immortal. We're down to 1. Oh, we're down to 0. We blink on top of the army. We shut down the Immortal. Now it's only Adepts. No more Immortals. GG gets called. Stats, he holds. He had no idea what was coming. He was not ready for the all-in, but he does survive. And Stats takes the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Again, uThermal, he did catch Stats off guard. He faked out the third base. Stats, he was woefully underprepared. He had a handful of units to defend. But a quick reaction out of Stats. He threw down the cannons, the shield batteries. His gateways did finish in time. And Stats was able to hold on there. Really good target firing and force fields. Remember, the first wave of force fields were crazy from Stats. Just zoning away those Immortals, forcing them to be juggled over the wall, of course. And they were focused down one after the other. The overcharge as well put in a lot of work. That cannon survived for so long. It was crazy how many hits it took. GG. GG, well played. Yeah, the Shield of Ire. He does it again. He holds. Congratulations to Twisted Fairy. My condolences to OFFSYDE. OFFSYDE is going to be knocked out of the tournament, but they did qualify for Code S. So again, they put in the work. They've made it into the main event. And now we're going to be following Twisted Fairy into the next series. Up next, Twisted Fairy versus Berserker Esports to determine our Code A champion. Let's go.